Milndavie Pottery in Strathblane, Scotland. You can buy a pack of clay from us, take it home to make what you would like to make, and the price includes bringing it back after it's bone dry and we will fire it for you. If you buy one of our clay at home packs, you can make a lot of different things, but this film is about how I made one of them. Here are two things that I made with my flower cutter. That's a little tea light holder, and this is a very sweet little dish. So this film is going to explain how I made them. I made these two pieces, this little dish and this little candle holder, using this cutter. It's actually a sandwich cutter, but it's a nice flower shape. After I cut the flower shape, I just held these petals up with newspaper. I've learned from experience that you want to try and hold them up as evenly as possible. It looks a lot better if you can do that. With this one, I left the flower shape flat. As it's dried, actually it's curled a bit, that's just inevitable. But I stuck a star onto it and I curled up the edges of the star and held them up with newspaper while it dried. Slipped and scored to make the star stick on. They've been drying for a week. I'm just going to tidy around the edges of them so that I can leave them for one more week before they go in the kiln. Just a reminder, I'm going to wear a mask because of the clay dust, and they are extremely fragile when they're dry clay, so just be really careful. These kinds of shapes are particularly easy to knock a bit off. So all I want to do is go round my edges just to take any rough bits off, because as it dries in the kiln, the clay becomes really hard, and any little scratches or lumps, they change because they're so hard, and they become sharp and uncomfortable to touch and just not nice. So you don't need to take much off. You can see there's only a tiny bit of clay dust that I'm making here, but yeah, there. So just be careful while you're doing it, and particularly on something like this, it will be so simple to knock these bits off. So just be extra careful. There we are, I finished the sanding, managed not to break any of them. Just a reminder about all this clay dust, don't blow it, put it in your bin, don't put it down your sink. So here's my little flower dish. I'm going to use a low fire glaze from the Teacher's Palette range, and I'm going to start off with lemon. I'm going to paint 3 coats of lemon onto this, and I'm going to go round the outside of the petals, but remember not to paint the bottom because that will stick onto the kiln shelf if you paint the bottom. Just a reminder, I'm on to my 3rd coat now, and I'm going to paint in a different direction. For each of the coats, it's a really good idea if you paint in a different direction, if you can. Don't worry if you can't, but if your piece allows for it, then crisscrossing the direction of your glaze for each of the 3 coats is a very good idea. So I've got 3 coats of lemon on here, and now I'm going to decorate it in a dangerous manner. So I'm going to use aquamarine, get a daub onto the brush, and I'm going to see if I can get that in there. Yeah, I'm going to tap the brush with my finger like that. So fingers crossed for it. Okay, so I'm happy with all of that, except see there's a big piece on there which when it dries I might rub a bit off because it's not a great idea to have thick glaze on these pieces, but I'm going to do the same. This is pumpkin. Yeah, that came off better. I'm happier with that. So my little dish is mainly yellow with a little bit of flicked paint, and now I'm going to have to clean my table. Sometimes if you turn the direction of flick, that can help. Just make sure that you do it on a surface that isn't going to get ruined. So when that's dry, you see this bit that was too thick, I'm just going to scrape a little bit off it, but that's finished, and I think that will be mainly yellow with a little bit of interest. So here's my little flower tea light holder with the star in the middle, and I've used the Sky Celadon and the Weeping Plum Celadon, 3 coats of each. You don't have to go on and glaze them, but I'm very pleased with how they've turned out. That's a little tea light holder, and this is a very sweet little dish.